Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build.
Yes, indeed. Forget all your differences and let we start to build. Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to welcome you to this very important special edition of the Dynamic Hour, because I thought it is very good for us to converse, to talk. And I had the opportunity last night to listen to a particular program, and it made me worried somewhat. It made me extremely concerned about everything else in listening to that program last night. And hence the reason I decided to come on at this moment to have a conversation with you, because I don't know if we, the people, understand what is a disaster, what is a hurricane, and the kind of devastation it can cause, and when it occurs, the hurt, the pain, the problems that exist, right? I just don't know if people understand that. So you have a political organization called the New National Party. And look, I was trying my utmost not to inject any politics in anything, but I know the NNP very well, and I know Keith Mitchell very, very well. So I expected this individual to act the way he's acting now. So I am not surprised. So he was interviewed last night on Talking Points, as the show that Sheldon Scott hosts. All right? It's an NNP program. So in listening to that program, because I listen to nearly all programs in Grenada, I realized that this guy is not genuine. He's not sincere about the development of the country, about the building back of this country. You know, he was there for all these years. He experienced Hurricane Ivan and Emily. I thought that, you know, he would be the mature, big person with his party to approach the government and say, hey, how can we help? How can we be a part of this process like many people are doing, many organizations? In fact, I was speaking to a young lady a while ago in the United States. She said, look, I spoke to a number of companies and they want to send food stuff, they want to send bags and send, school supplies and so on to the kids back here at home twice per month. So there are people who are trying their best to see what they can do to help this country. Right? They're going to the government, they're inquiring. That is what a responsible person would do. That is what a responsible organization would do. All right? So I want to play, because for me, I am all about evidence. I don't just talk. So this was Keith Mitchell last night. Listen.
Specifically how we can help and how what advice we can give, we certainly will do so. If asked, we will certainly do so, because we believe this is not about the politics. This is not about NNP and NDC. It's just about what is best for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
So, folks, you tell me, Keith Mitchell is waiting. The NNP is waiting for the government to ask them to help, or to put a hand, or to lend their experience in terms of, disasters, in terms of hurricanes and so on. Because remember, Keith Mitchell was prime minister when Ivan passed. He was prime minister when Emily passed. So one would expect, with his experience, good or bad, he would, as a political organization, approach the government, seek out the government so that they can help. Why wait for the government to come to you? He always believes that he's some lord, or he's some big boss, or he's the grandpa, and you have to come to him as though he's still in charge. He has to understand that you have a government in place. And for him to say that, then come to him, or they have to come to him, what's to that effect? One wonders whether they're patriotic, whether they are genuine. Let me play it again, because I think people are coming on just listening. All right?
Specifically how we can help and how what advice we can give, we certainly will do so. If asked, we will certainly do so, because we believe this is not about the politics. This is not about NNP and NDC. It's just about what is best for Grenada.
Right. So we know, if it is just what is best for Grenada, why would you wait to ask for the government to ask you to help, or to ask you to support, or to do certain things for our people? I mean, I am somewhat in a state of shock, because Keith Mitchell was prime minister during Ivan and Emily. So he experienced all of that. He should approach the government. He should be quick with his party to approach the government to say, hey, where can we help? Like the churches are doing, like community groups are doing. Look, the people who volunteered to clean up the streets, to clear the roads, right, to cut the trees, to remove all the debris and so on, after the hurricane, did not wait for government to come and ask them to do that. The people who journeyed up to Carriacou and Petit Martinique, they did not ask or wait for the government to ask them. The people who went out there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique to clean the streets and to do certain things, they didn't wait for the Honorable Tevin Andrews or any one of them to ask them to do it. There are people overseas who journeyed here just to help. So for such a statement, I think it's insensitive, one, and two, I think it is unpatriotic. Having experienced Hurricane Ivan and Emily, you were prime minister at the time, you're not opposition leader. You telling me that you're waiting on government to ask you for help, or ask you to come on board to build back this country and to transform this country? No. But here it is. After he said so, After the man made such a statement, in the same interview, the man went on to say the following, because I think it is important for you to hear him. Listen to what he had to say.
People who felt that their homes were not adequate to be able to survive that storm, and in the pouring rain, they went to the housing facility in Boucherjour, and unfortunately, the authorities, whoever they may be, asked the police and instructed the police to move the people back out in the weather, in the rain, and which demonstrates a level of heartlessness that you can't understand. And it appears that similar thing was done in Caracol, because I got some reports today of how people was forced out in the period of the weather, out of the places that they were seeking shelter. I really do not understand this, and it's very difficult to believe that sort of thing is happening in Grenada. But it's not surprising, because it appears that one of the things that people have found about this present government is that they seem to have such little feelings for vulnerable people, which is extremely unfortunate. It appears to me, seems to me, that one of the fundamental reasons that anyone should be getting into politics is to be able to lift people up, or to help people in times, particularly those who are in need, in addition to the general policy of improving the lives of the people of the country as a whole. There must be a special focus on those vulnerable persons. So that was a very big disappointment as far as the constituency is concerned. But I got reports from around the country, and I was in touch with some of friends in Caracol who report.
Yeah, so, and he continued, but hear this. This is a lie. Folks, this is a lie, but hear this. Even if what he's saying is true, there are designated shelters in every constituency and in every community. There are designated shelters, and Keith Mitchell knows that. So why should these people just speak up and decide they want to go in these Chinese low-income houses? Why? This guy is looking to make confusion. He's seeking to create controversy and to make TB. He's not interested in Grenada, in the development of Grenada. He's not. Because if you listen again, because it's important for me to put the evidence on the table, if you listen to what this guy said, first thing that would run in your mind is that there are designated shelters during a hurricane. During the hurricane season, NADMA would put out a list of shelters. So these people, what Keith Mitchell should have done is to educate his people so that they would know, even before the pouring rain, even before a disaster, they should go into a hurricane shelter. It is high-class irresponsible for a person who represents that constituency to be saying such a thing. He's saying to these people, in other words, they don't need to heed NADMA's warning and all the bulletins and all the information that comes from there, because NADMA had the list out, right? Listen.
People who felt that their homes were not adequate to be able to survive that storm, and in the pouring rain, they went to the housing facility in Boucherjour, and unfortunately, the authorities, whoever they may be, asked the police and instructed the police to move the people back out in the weather, in the rain, and which demonstrates a level of heartlessness that you can't understand. And it appears that similar thing was done in Caracol, because I got some report today of how people was forced out when the period of the weather, out of the places that they were seeking shelter. I really do not understand this, and it's very difficult to believe that that sort of thing is happening in Grenada. But it's not surprising, because it appears that one of the things that people have found about this present government is that they seem to have such little feelings for vulnerable people, which is extremely unfortunate. It appears to me, seems to me, that one of the fundamental reasons that anyone should be getting into politics is to be able to lift people up or to help people in times, particularly those who are in need, in addition to the general policy of improving the lives of the people, the country as a whole. There must be a special focus on those vulnerable persons. So that was a very big disappointment as far as the constituency is concerned.
Folks, when you listen to this guy, you know he's lying. You know he's disingenuous. The hurricane just affected Carriacou and PT Martinique, You hear me? And Grenada. This is the kind of conversation this guy's having publicly. He wants to use this crisis to be relevant, in my belief, instead of putting their hands to the wheel and building back and helping to build back this place. This is what this guy's on a radio program, on their radio program, saying they are designated shelters. They are shelters designated for disaster, like a hurricane and so on. It's what it is. These hazards, these natural hazards, there are places designated for that. The hurricane, remember, there are weeks and months and so on in advance that NADMA was preparing people, saying to you that you need to have X, Y, and Z, and these are the hurricane shelters. In fact, even before the hurricane strike, NADMA had the GIS, GBN, all the television stations, all the radio stations, they were releasing the designated shelters. So why then should these people believe that they can just leave their homes at that particular time and go into the Chinese housing scheme, into the low-income houses? What is their objective? But I do not believe it. I do not believe it, because Keith Mitchell mentioned Carriacou and what he heard. During the interview, Sheldon Scott told him, well, he just get news that DG brought back service to the island. So as a result, people could communicate and so on now. The guy then say, well, it's good news because they're trying to reach Nolan Cox. They were trying to this and that. So how then did you get that information that these people are trying to get in there? But not only that, that's not the only thing here. The NNP will always be NNP. You hear me? They would never rise to the occasion where they could put aside the politics, where they could focus on Grenada and building this country. They would never, ever rise to the occasion. This is not time for politic and politicking and politics. It is not time for that. It is time to build Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique back. And instead of the opposition, they're not doing so now, right? They're seeking to disrupt, in my view and in my belief. That is exactly what they're seeking to do. It is sickening. It is sad. It is really, really sad. If you ask me, it is terribly sad when you listen to what this guy said. You wonder. You have to come to him and come to them. The government has to come to the opposition. and come to them and come to him. There are people in the communities volunteering, not waiting on government. There are businesses volunteering, giving their all. Their community groups doing the same thing. Come on. So why the government has to come to you? Why? And then you start creating controversy already, creating melee and bacchanal regarding people in Karaku and people in his constituency trying to go to the Chinese housing low-income houses, and the police was instructed to turn them away. It is utter rubbish. Utter rubbish. They are designated shelters, but you see, the NNP is accustomed to lawlessness. The NNP is accustomed to breaking all the rules, in my belief. They're accustomed to that kind of vulgar way of governance. They are designated shelters where you can go, and it's published way before. So why then should you make these people believe that they could just go into the low-income houses? What they're going to break it open? What would they do? What? So they're special. They're special. There are people the day before the system, they gone into the shelter. The minute time the shelters were open, they gone into it. The hurricane shelters in Karaku, same thing. Look how they handle the situation in Karaku now, boy. And here in Grenada. You see, I told you before that Keith Mitchell and the NNP, they're going to go back to their old dirty ways. Not even a week yet, Not even 3-4 days yet. They start with that nonsense. Come on. You just take a listen, because you see, for me, I love to put the evidence on the table. That's how I operate, right?
Specifically, how we can help and what advice we can give, we certainly will do so. If asked, we will certainly do so, because we believe this is not about the politics. This is not about NNP and NDC. It's just about what is best for Grenada.
Right. So if asked, we will do so. And it's not about the politics, and it's about Grenada. But if it's about Grenada, then you should, in my belief, do what you have to do to help the people. You know what the NNP decided to do? They put out some statement to beg people to give X and give Y. Well, people already given. Why this same individual cannot take the initiative? He has a lot of money. He has millions and millions of dollars. Take the initiative and take just $20,000 out of your money, right? Out of your money. I'm just thinking aloud. Keith Mitchell, you have millions of dollars. Why you cannot take just $20,000 out of your money and buy water, buy non-perishable stuff, buy some stuff, right? Send it to P.T. Martinique. Send it up to Karaku. Do that. Just as a gesture that you care. Because there are a lot of people who are giving water, giving water, giving stuff towards this. And I'm saying it is a level of insensitivity on the part of Keith Mitchell to go on an interview and make those kind of pronouncements. It is lawlessness at the highest level. It is unpatriotic. Why should the government, so you're waiting on the government to reach out to you, to come to you, and they have to come to you. Who is Keith Mitchell? Is he special? Is the NNP special? Are they different than any other organization? Look at churches, community groups, people in the diaspora and so on. They are reaching out to the government saying, how can I help? How can I help? How can I make an impact on the lives of our people, our brothers and sisters in Karaku and P.T. Martinique? But here you have Keith Mitchell on that interview last night saying that they have to reach out to him. They have to, what is this? And then you hear him making these claims about the people in Busheshu. They go towards the houses there, the Chinese low-income houses, and the police was instructed or whatever to chase them in the rain and all this, to inject feelings and emotion. This guy is scandalous in my belief. And then he heard similar stories in Karakou, and it is lawlessness at the highest level in my belief, because they are designated places as shelters. And NADMA published that thing way before. Come on, Keith Mitchell, you get a big F for that nonsense, instead of adding to the resources. Because look, I said so yesterday. This guy experienced Hurricane Ivan and Emily as prime minister. He has experience. So it would be a good thing if he can come on board and help. It would be a wonderful thing. Everybody, you have volunteers in communities. You have people helping and doing things and helping their neighbors, helping their friends, helping people in the country. So why should you believe that you're some god, you're some king, you're waiting and they have to come to you? And what is this? What is this? And folks, I am putting the evidence on the table because I want you to start to think deeper, right? We are in a crisis. Everybody wants to volunteer. In fact, I was saying to a friend yesterday in St. George's, I am preparing myself to go up to Karakou, even if I have to spend, 7 days helping in different areas, because I have the expertise. I worked in NADMA for 5 or so years. The disaster management person in Karakou, who was there before, I think he's in the United Kingdom now. He used to be under my responsibility, and quite a number of the other districts and so on. So, training in SOT, emergency, just name it. First, we can go on and on, right? Shelter management, everything there, right? Damage and needs assessment. So I'm willing to pack and move. I'm preparing myself to do so. I'm not waiting for someone to call me and say, Kem Jones, I want you to come. No. So the opposition, they get a big F. But I know why he's doing that. I know, because I told you before that they would use any method whatsoever, because they want to see Grenada on its knees. I told you that, because that's the easiest way for them to climb on the back of Grenada and get back into power. And they are demonstrating that every single day. Look, I never wanted to have a conversation that is political during this time. On my way from the United States a day or so ago, I was saying to a friend, even on the plane, I have no intention of having a political conversation regarding what's going down. I am not interested in that. I listened to Mosquito Man. Me and him, we are not friends, to say friends, but I thought that his statement was mature. His statement was good regarding how our beloved Prime Minister handled the situation and continue to do so. He was high in praises to the government and the way they did that. It was really good, right? I saw another opposition pundit talking highly about the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and the government and how they handle this whole thing, right? I was very, very moved by that. And I wanted that. I wanted some level of unity, some level of maturity, some level of coming together to build this place. There will be time and place for the stupid politics and all this nonsense. There will be time and place for that. But for now, let's build. Look at our beloved Prime Minister as he traveled via helicopter to Karakou and PT Martinique. He walked, he mixed, he mingled. He cares.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We still have our conversation to finish, man. Yeah, man. All right. Yeah, man. So good to see you. Nice move, man. Good. Good, man. Thank you so much. Yes, yeah, my brother. We on the rise.
Yes. Right there, this gentleman coming to the end, and I think he's really the face of this crisis when he said, "Don't worry, we are on the rise. We will build back better. We will make it." And that's the resilience that exists with the people in Carriacou and the PT Martinique. And I want to commend them. I want to applaud them. I have on the line my very good friend and brother, Terry Forrester. He's the ambassador for Diaspora Affairs. And he has been doing a fantastic job in communicating with so many groups and organizations and so on out there in the diaspora so that they can help in whatever way they can. And I have him on the line. I would like him to chit chat with us a bit. Terry, how are you doing, my brother?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well, Kim, and you're doing a fantastic job updating the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique as to what is happening.
Right.
So thank you very much for your efforts.
Right. So I'm glad that you're doing well and that things are A-OK on your end. Talk to us a bit about what is taking place generally, because I think people are coming together, people are working together to transform their communities, to build back better, stronger than before. People are volunteering, people are really into this. We are really a resilient people, as we know, and we are united in this effort to build back better.
Absolutely, sure, indeed. As a matter of fact, there is local, regional, and international fervor in wanting to help and assist Grenada. And the leadership being extended by the political leader and Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, it is really resonating throughout all our villages, all our communities, and resonating in the diaspora and regionally throughout CARICOM, etc. It shows true leadership of an individual who is on the ground, well connected, and providing constant and regular updates as to what is happening. This is highly applaudable. But I want to take the opportunity this morning, Cam, to indicate that through the efforts of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, led by the Honorable Joseph Andel and his Permanent Secretary, Roxy Hutchinson, and of course, with the very good assistance coming from our ambassador in Washington, Mr. Tali Francis, Grenada was able, after 4 days of the passage of Hurricane Beryl, to now have at the Point Saline Airport the arrival of a full field hospital for Karaku. That field hospital is being transported as we speak from the airport to the port in St. George's to be loaded onto a boat to take it up to Karaku tomorrow. Now, this is remarkable. That's the only word I can use. Remarkable. For within 4 days, for the administration to be able to mobilize, the organization is called the Samaritan Purse. It's an organization in the United States dedicated to assisting and providing services to people in need. Our ambassador in Washington, His Excellency Tali Francis, spoke with the United Nations, spoke with the US government, and they in turn coordinated with PAHO. And in turn, PAHO communicated with Samaritan Purse and say, look, Grenada needs help. And within a matter of 2 days, the first arrival of its airplane landed at Point Celine Airport and providing services to Karaku. And today, the same aircraft, a DC-8, arrived at Point Celine with a full equipped field hospital. Coupled with that was about 40 medical doctors who will be traveling to Karaku tomorrow to provide services for Karaku and PT Martinique. Now, if this isn't phenomenal, I don't know what is, because this is only 4 days after the passage of Hurricane Merrill. Forget Sunday, that's when it passed. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. After 4 days, action has been taken to cause this organization to mobilize a field hospital to be flown to Grenada. Right now, they are loading onto trailer trucks that is now going out to the port in order to load onto boats to get up to Karaku. I can only say that this is phenomenal action on the part of the government of Grenada, and I can only extend my thanks and appreciation to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, its ambassador in Washington, and of course, our Minister for Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Joseph Handel, for initiating all of this and making it possible. Of course, they also work with local church organizations and so forth, because this is a church-based entity, the Samaritan Purse. And they have been doing wonders throughout the world in providing services. So my congratulations for the leadership shown by the Honorable Deacon Mitchell and his entire cabinet and team in managing this crisis. It shows true leadership. And our congratulations, my personal congratulations, go out to the entire team for managing the situation so far.
And Terry, people in the diaspora, they are reaching out. They want to help. They are not saying, well, I want the government to come and ask me and come to me and beg me to do this. They are reaching out. Tell us about that, the kind of coordination, the kind of work that is being done by different groups who believe in giving back and helping in any way that they can.
Well, actually, you're absolutely correct. There are major groups and organizations and individuals reaching out to Grenada, reaching out to officials, reaching out to our embassies, to our High Commission office in London, to our Consul General office in New York, in Toronto, and they're just excited about wanting to give something to Grenada. And therefore our representation abroad is managing and receiving these really fantastic offers coming from Grenadians and friends of Grenada wanting to help the Tri-Island state in recovering from this horrible and terrible hurricane which passed through on Sunday. So the support is tremendous, and lots of persons are working in the background to ensure that all of this is processed properly. The Ministry of Finance has sent out information regarding where you can make donations. We have noticed quite a large number of GoFundMe accounts being developed, and we're saying to persons in the diaspora, be very careful, be very cautious. We do not want to accuse anyone of ill intent, but be careful as to whom you forward your monies to in this cause. We are not accusing anyone of having ill intentions. We are just saying to folks in the diaspora, be careful, be cautious as to where you send your money.
I fully agree.
There is an official statement issued by the Ministry of Finance, which indicates where you can send money to Grenada, the government of Grenada's account. We would encourage you so to do.
Fully agree.
But for those who have the GoFundMe accounts, we applaud them for wanting to assist. But I'm saying to donors, be careful, because there could be individuals out there who may have other intentions.
Beautiful.
We're not accusing, we just state.
Yes. No, and Terry, I spoke about it yesterday too. I think you're correct. You're totally correct. During these times, there are people who may have ill intent, right? And just being cautious is very, very important. But here it is. The Honorable Tevin Andrews, he's doing a lot of work in Carriacou. It's just phenomenal. This young man has energy. He has the people at heart. And we are seeing that every single day. In fact, he put updates on Facebook a while ago. I mean, he has been at it from get-go.
Absolutely, sure, indeed. Yeah, I mean, thank God that he has appointed a young and energetic government this time around, because you need energy to stay on top of all the varying activities that is required and necessary to ensure that assistance and support comes to those most in need. So I want to join with you in congratulating the Honorable Tevin Andrew for the fantastic job that he's doing in Carriacou. I know that he has personal challenges, personal damages to his property. And of course, he has his family to look after, but he is looking after the needs of the folks in Carriacou, and coordinating all the assistance coming through.
We must say here that the Honorable Ron Redhead and the Honorable Kieran James, and I think another one or two of them, in terms of ministers, went up there to lend support to him. And as you rightly said, his property was damaged too, but he did not let that stop him. He's out there with the teams, coordinating, helping, making sure that the elderly, making sure that the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique are actually cared for. And it's really love. It's really good to see what's happening out there.
Well, Kem, actually, there are more, from what I am understanding now, there are more government officials out in Carriacou and PT Martinique than we are even aware of, simply because of the poor or lack of communication facilities between Carriacou and Grenada at this point in time. Our PRO, Mr. Orlando Romain, he has been in Carriacou and he has been going night and day. Prime Minister has been there himself, going night and day, and other officials of NADMA. It has just been a great effort being put out by individuals within this administration. Yeah. And thank God they are young individuals who can withstand the pressures of not having to sleep for 2-3 days.
All right. Well, Terry, I want to thank you very much for updating us. It's pure love on this end. And I want to wish you all the best, you and your family.
Thank you very much. And the same to you, Kim. And let me send out love and best wishes to all your listeners. And may God continue to guide and bless us through this entire process. We shall come out better at the end of it all. We're going to be stronger as a result of the passage of this. We give God thanks and praise.
Thank you.
In all things, give thanks and praise.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry. So, folks, that was Ambassador Terry Forrester there, chit-chatting with me. At this point, let me play a little, the update from the Honorable Tevin Andrews.
So just a quick update: the senior citizen home, Top Hill. The Top Hill home was evacuated yesterday. We have no more seniors at the Top Hill senior citizen home. They were relocated to the Bogles Community Center, the upstairs. They're all safe and sound. There are a few family members who took their loved ones, but in all of the residents are doing well. They're in good shape, good health. They're upbeat. So I just wanted to inform the family members, because I know a few people reached out. I was worried about the Top Hill senior citizen home and the residents. Now the home obviously was compromised. It was partially, part of the roof got blown off and it was flooded. But I want to thank everyone for the heroic efforts in joining us to remove the residents and the staff. So thank you. Just a short update. Today we have 4 trucks out on the northern and eastern area in Wynwood, Dover, Mount Pleasant, and I believe another truckload is coming for Mount Royal and so on. So supplies are going out. I want to thank the NADMA team. I want to thank the Royal Grenadier Police Force and the hardworking servicemen and women who are here in the front line getting the work done. I want to thank the heroic team at NADMA, the staff who are doing a wonderful job. I want to thank everybody. Continue to bring this, continue to donate, continue to support. I think there's information on the Prime Minister's website and Facebook page in terms of how you can donate directly. We appreciate all and any support. Please understand, I don't think some people understand the devastation that has taken place in Carriacou and PT Matnik. "98 to 100% of the island was devastated. This is time for all of us to unite, band our belly, and to rebuild better and stronger. My job is to ensure that our people remain safe, calm, and that no one goes hungry. The rebuilding will be hard and tough, so we need all.
Andrews there, and you realize that he was in tears, right? He actually break down there somewhat when he told you that almost 98% of the country devastated, damaged. This is no joke, all right? This is no joking matter, but they're working overnight to bring relief and to really make the people know that this government and the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, and those in the diaspora and so on, we care about our people. It's tough. During this time, I can tell you it's tough. It's not easy, but I love the way the Honorable Tevin Andrews and the government altogether is working to bring the people back to some place of normalcy. It's going to take some time. It's tough road ahead, but I just love the fact that they've started the process smoothly. All right. Hello.
Do the vegetables in that.
Hello.
Ken,
Hi.
good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. How was your trip to New York?
It was wonderful.
Okay, good. All right. Sorry to hear about all this disaster home, but listen something. You know who you're speaking to? Josephine Prime.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, I hear you on the
right. So I'm currently
the other day.
I am currently live.
I'm
Hold
going
on.
to make you laugh. I hear you was begging. I have something for you.
All right, hold on. I'm currently live on the program. So
you live?
Yes.
I'm live?
Yes. I'm currently live.
Cut me off.
No, yeah. So I'll call you back, right?
Okay.
All right, no problem. I'll call you back. Yes. So my good friend there, because my system is connected to my phone. So that's I'm actually live. So don't worry. We good. Yes, I was actually asking folks out there to assist because we are down in Carriacou and down in Grenada in terms of radio. But here it is. Just giving you an update as to where we are at. I told you yesterday that we got $3,000 US from my good friend as a donation towards getting the equipment and so on. And I also told you that I got $900 from another good friend while I was in New York. And I put $100 from a friend that gave me. So that was $4,000. So we had $4,000 yesterday. All right. We have since gotten another 1,000 US from a good friend yesterday. So we are at $5,000. We have since gotten $100 from another good friend. So that's 5,100 US. And I've since gotten, well, I have not collected it as yet, but certainly today that will be done if there is no problem. I would collect 300 pounds and 500 pounds. I think it's 500 pounds. I think so. Let me just check here. I think it's 500 pounds towards that. Let me just make sure I get it here. How much was it? So 519 pounds and 51 cents. All right, let me see. Total paid. All right, let me see. Total paid 500. Why? So the tax. The tax was 10 pounds, $49, 49 cents, pence. Pence, yeah, I think it's pence, yes. All right, quid. So in total, so it's 519 pounds and 51 cents. All right. So that's pounds, right? So it will be converted into EC. I think it's about $1,719.30 from a good friend of the program, right? And then another good friend sent me, let me just see here. Another good friend sent me, all right. Another good friend, right? So thank you there. Another good friend, let me just get the information because it's important for transparency and it helps people in terms of being able to give and know that they are giving. So I'll give you an update from time to time. There's another friend who wants to be anonymous, doesn't want his name or anything of that sort here. So let me get it here. All right. He called me a while ago. Let me just get it here first. All right. Let me look for it here. Where is it, boy? I'm looking on the phone here for it. He called me a while ago. All right. So 1, 2. He called me a while ago. All right. So here is it. So let me go into message. All right. So he sent, as he told me, 300 pounds. All right. Yes. So 300 pounds. All right. So in total, I can give you a kind of estimation. We would be at about 6,000 US. It would be just about 6,000 US. It might be just a little more than 6,000 US, but I'll tell you the specific amount. So far, I have collected and banked 5,100 US. I've collected and banked that. That's towards getting the equipment. I told you that we need a total of 15,000 US to get the equipment for Grandi Tang and Carriacou. So we're not doing just Grenada. We're doing Carriacou is flat. So we need a transmitter for Carriacou. We need a transmitter for Grenada, brand new. That's what we're working on. And the antenna and the connecting cables and everything, the connectors and cables for that to get us back on air. All right, Kim the King, he's okay. He's fine. I spoke to him. He's all good. But plenty damage. He suffered plenty damages. All right. So just saying that we are working from our end to get this. And so far, so good. I spoke about that yesterday, and I am happy to report to you that we are at we definitely at 6,000 US. Because when you add the pounds, the 800 pounds together, it would take us to about another 1,000 US or just a little more than that. So just saying again, I have been able to collect 3,000 US for a very good friend. I called his name, Dr. Lane. Everybody knows Dr. Lane, Trevor Lane. He is the ambassador for health and wellness and so on. He has been doing an excellent job. He's my good friend. I was able to go to him and negotiate and say, hey, I need that. And he said, yes, no problem. I got that. When I got to New York, Gloria, my good friend there, she gave me $900. All right. A friend gave me 100 towards my own personal thing, but I took that. He said, well, buy something for your two daughters. I took that 100 US and I put it towards that 900, so it made it 1,000. So we had 4,000. So yesterday I went and I banged that 4,000 US. All right. Then I got 1,000 US from another good friend who just wants to remain anonymous behind the scenes and so on. 1,000 US. So that's 5,000 US in the bank. 5,000 US in the bank. And then another person gave me 100 US, sent 100 US to me towards that. So that's 5,100 US. All right. And then a good friend this morning sent me 500 pounds. Well, 519 pounds, 519 pounds, and how much cents? Well, pence. All right. Let me just get that because, that's how I operate. I've always been that kind of person. I do things transparently. I think that is the way you're going to get blessing and things are going to happen for this program. Right. So 519 pounds, 51 pence. All right. So I got that and then 300. So that will take us definitely. That will take us about 6,000 US. All right. That will take us there. So I would give you an update tonight when I do the program tonight. I will give you an update again. Definitely. You can look forward to that because people know me. That's the way I operate. That is why I'm still here. All right. So you can give, you can support if you have the potential to. Like the lady a while ago, she called and she really wanted to give something towards getting the equipment back. We want to get, once we get 15,000 US, 15,000 US will get us the 2 transmitters and it will get us the antennas and the cables. It will get us that. All right. And it would be, there is concession. I have concession, so I don't have to pay any taxes. Right. I'm a creative. I am entitled to 100% concession for these equipment. All right. So I'm entitled to that. So when it comes, I don't have to do that. All right. Nice. Hey, Kim, who is Kim? Yes. Kim, Vibes FM. Yes. Kim the King. All right. So it's Kim and Kim. All right. Yes. Yes. Vibes FM. So just saying again, we need that and we're working towards it ambitiously so. All right. So have a wonderful day, folks. Have a wonderful day. And the folks who are custom pledging their support to the program, to keep the program going, please do so. Please do so. This time around, because I came from the United States, I was not able to send a text message to you to say, hey, do you pledge this month again, that kind of thing. I was not able to do that. So please, if you're able to do it, do that. If you can't, because we understand what's going down, but still, I urge you. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back with you tonight. I'll be back with you tonight from 8 again, because we are on YouTube and we're on Facebook. You have to continue the mission. So once we're able to get the transmitters and the equipment and so on, we'll be able to be back on the radio, even more powerful and even better quality and everything like that. All right? Because we have to build back better. We have to build back better. So folks, take